Have you started to shop around for insurance and noticed that if you're under the age of 25, that the rates are ridiculously high? Well, if you're in that boat, hang in. I'm going to give you some answers. I'm going to go over the top 4 companies that you should be looking at that will likely give you the best rates. Now, I'm not going to go into details why under the age of 25 is going to be more expensive and the risk is so much higher, because there's something we call profiles, and there's different profile fits for each company. If you stay through to the end, I'm going to link another video that will go over the specific details of why a younger driver is going to be a higher risk. And if you're really curious about that, definitely check that out. There will be other future videos on this because as things evolve and cars start to change and drive themselves, the risk is going to start to change. So if you're wanting to keep up with that, definitely hit the subscribe button below. Otherwise, let's just jump right into it. So there's 4 companies that I have dealt with in the last, I would say 12 to 15 months. Now, I've been doing insurance for over 10, close to 11 years now. But what I've seen lately is that there's a couple people that are standing out and raising their hands saying, I want to insure this 20-year-old or I want to insure this 17-year-old. The companies that start out to be the most competitive is going to be the first one, which is sometimes a fit. And I would say more often they're a fit than they are not. But the first one that I would look towards is going to be State Farm. State Farm has been really good in states like Florida, where they've been extremely competitive in general in that state. But they're also competitive in states like California, where they're typically only getting lost or beat out to by Farm Bureau, which is not one of the companies in this list. It's just one of those in California that seems to be very popular. The reason I'm coming up with this is in the last few years, I've had several hundred people ask me what's the best insurance. So I've collected the state, I've researched the companies, and State Farm, in more often than not, I would say a third of the time, is going to come up in the top 5. I would lean towards them mainly because of that, but they also offer a safe drive discount. I will link that video if you want to learn about it as well, but they're really good in that aspect. Number 3, it is Allstate of all places. Allstate is not showing up as much as State Farm in the searches that I've done for younger drivers, but I've had really good luck with them. When I don't think this is a good fit, typically Allstate comes in the mix and says, okay, we're pretty good in this area, and they tend to shine pretty well. There's nothing specific about them that makes them special. They're just another insurance. They've got really good advertising, they've grown really well, and they've done well with claims. So they're not getting a really bad rap by any means to be insured in certain states. That being said, always check your state just to see how well they did, because I know they want to do good in general, and they have overall, but keep in mind each state can be different. Number 2 is going to be Progressive. Progressive I've named in several videos as one of the top insurance companies for 2020. They're the most versatile company that I've worked with. I've dealt with them. I really like them. They charge fair. They know what they want as far as a profile. And that's probably the most specific thing that makes them so great, is they don't mind somebody having a ticket and they don't mind someone being young. As long as they can rate it properly, that's really all they care about. The other thing is they add renter's insurance onto a typical policy for a young driver, which sometimes is less expensive than if you just bought auto insurance alone. So you're going to get several $100,000 worth of liability insurance on top of your car insurance for the same or even sometimes less. That's one of the reasons I love Progressive. Now, I'm not going to go into details on that one either, just because I want to get to the number 1, but I am going to link why I named Progressive one of the top companies there as well. And if you're interested in getting a quote from them, I'll put a link below. Company I work with, it's going to ask you for one vehicle, takes about 1 minute to fill out, and it'll go to a live person who will call you and see if you're a fit for multiple companies. So the number 1 spot, it's oddly enough, this is for young drivers. It is Geico Insurance. Almost every single time someone is asked to do a quote, Geico pops up. When you're under the age of 25, you're in that 16 to 20 range, and you've asked me a question, the hundreds of people on my chat, I always almost say Geico. And I almost don't want to even put it anymore because I'm just like, okay, if you read the comments, you're going to see da-da-da-da-da Geico, da-da-da-da-da Geico, da-da-da-da-da. Every 3 companies that I recommend, it's going to be Geico. Now, when I get outside of the people that are 25 or older, Geico tends to fall off. It's not that they don't want that business, because I can't imagine why they wouldn't want the 50-year-old that owns a home, that has kids. All like that's the ideal client in most insurance companies. They're looking for that kind of person on the path where they don't want to file claims. They just want to have everything go smoothly. And most companies are looking for the majority to be that type of business. Well, Geico tends to shine more when you are a higher risk. Now, the thing that they don't do well, as far as I've found, is they don't really have a whole lot of home and renters products in different states. So it depends on the states that you're in. Shoot, I'm in Michigan, and I can't even do a quote with them. I tried to do it online. It gives me an 800 number. I call an 800 number. It tells me to do this email. I fill out an email and I send it back. They mail me hard copies to fill out. I fill them out, mail them in. A lady calls me. I couldn't understand a word she said. She left me a voicemail, so I have no way to call her back. And that's it. I was stuck, right? So in the states that they don't want to be competitive in, and they don't want you to know that they exist, because they have different contracts and different licensings where they have to advertise a certain amount in certain states, well, they may not want insurance there, so they're going to make it difficult. So there are a couple states where they aren't really good, and you're going to know that right away because it's going to be near to impossible to get a quote from them. That being said, those are the companies I would look at. If you're a young driver, if you haven't watched the one I'm going to link up here for the insurance videos, this is kind of like the cheat to that. Check with State Farm, check with Allstate, check with Progressive, and check with Geico. Personally, if you're a homeowner, there's going to be a little bit of a different set of rules that I would follow. Honestly, what I would probably do, and it's not to get you to go click and fill out a quote, but I would talk to an agent. Find a local agent that you can talk to that's going to give you advice that works with multiple companies. You don't have to fill out the link I have below just because it is in 21 states. We work with up to 17 companies. That's a great thing. But I want you to feel comfortable because that's what this whole channel is about. It's about finding you guys the best fit, not necessarily getting me to have you fill out a quote. It's just not the point of it. Full disclosure, if you do fill out the quote, it's kind of like tipping me off. I get a cup of coffee. So I appreciate that if you're interested in that. I won't be the one quoting directly, but I've probably trained the person that's going to quote you, and they've usually worked there for several years. Really good fit. Otherwise, what I would do is if you're not looking to go that route, if you're going to put in a fake phone number, it's useless because they won't do anything but call you. So what I would recommend is, like I said, find a local agent, go through somebody that you trust, find a family friend. Not necessarily what mom and dad say to go to, because keep in mind, mom and dad have been working with the same agent for 10 to 20 to 30 years, and that agent is built best for their profile. And their profile is the family with kids, multiple cars, owns the home, things like that. Doesn't hurt to check with them, but the odds are they're likely not going to be the fit for the younger driver. So unless they also work with multiple companies, I would take a sidestep and look on your own a little bit. But when you start, those are the ones I would start with. Put Geico in the mix, put Progressive in the mix, and then maybe if you're going to go further than that, check State Farm and Allstate. I hope this was helpful, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you want more tips like this, I will be making more videos in the future about these subjects. I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I will see you in the next one.